What's up, everybody out there in the YouTube world? We're out in the shop today working on my PDL, getting it all ready to go. Did some trailer modifications, so I'm pulling it up on there and making sure everything fits the way it should. I lopped a couple feet off the tongue, shortened everything up. If you watch my earlier videos, it's an old John boat trailer, so I slid everything up here, make sure everything's going to fit the way I want it to fit, everything's going to work the same, and we're not going to have any issues out here. But since the Old Town came up with the 120 Pro, I'm going to give you a run through of my tournament Sportsman 120. Yeah, it's just to get you guys' thoughts. Is it worth me buying? Is it worth me spending the $3,500 on it? I don't know. I don't know if it is or isn't. I've kind of made some of the modifications that Old Town already made to the Pro that I made on the previous model to do what the Pro does and vice versa. So just to get you guys' thoughts, your comments, your concerns, your complaints. I'm sure everybody's going to complain. That's all right. I've got some trigger warnings, just so you're aware. It is motorized. I know it's PDL, but it is motorized. I do have electronics on it. So if you get a little excited, you might want to stop watching now. Oh, the flat brimmer's coming out. Yeah, we are. Get over it. It's kind of the way of the world right now. I'm going to give you guys a run through of the motor electronics, how I have that wired, the mount I'm running on the front, and we're going to start there and work our way back, front to back. You're in for the long haul. So here we go. Here's the walkthrough. So right here, I'm running the one objective mount. Super easy install. No issues with that at all. It's one drilled hole. The other one goes through your drain plug. One objective. Got it out to me fast. Really good product. I really liked it. Install was amazing. Functionality is amazing. Still get your handle on the front. I'm running a motor guide quick disconnect right here. And then wired through the Kayak, I'm running these capped off. They got a little trap door here. Open it up. Anderson plug right in the side on the bow. Makes it really nice for if you're not using it, shut it and forget about it, and it looks clean, nice. You can't see anything running anywhere. Or you flip it open, maybe. Come on now. Maybe. Flip it open, and then you have your Anderson plug. I use Anderson plugs because they're a little easier to deal with than your round plug. You're not in there trying to twist it around and get it lined up and everything. You just push those in, they lock in, they're solid. Solid as a rock, not coming out of there. They take effort to get in and out, trust me. It's annoying sometimes. That's that. This is in the back tank well of the Kayak. Another Anderson plug. Flips open, plugs in right there. It's all wired with 8-gauge wire all through the Kayak. Underneath here, try to get your circuit breakers as close as you can to the batteries. I hate when people put them in the bow. I'm going to kind of dive you in there. It's going to get a little weird. Circuit breakers just mounted right there with some screws going through that foam. Doesn't move around, doesn't fall down. No problems at all there. I'm just gonna take this out. No one runs this anymore. There's a few tournaments where I have to use this. Oh, get out of there. But otherwise, I don't really run it too often anymore. And I don't know if I'm gonna be in that tournament series this year or not. I haven't decided. So we got a big giant hole right there. What are we gonna do about that? I'll show you. Bam. There is a Navarre Kayak Fishing, sells a block off plate. Goes in just like your pedal drive would. Slides right underneath the front. Set it down. Twists in. Hole fixed. Now time for the fun part. We're going to move to the front. We're actually going to chuck the motor on the front. All right, motor's on the front. Like I said, it's on that motor guide Quick disconnect, everybody's seen it, everybody loves it, works great. Plug system, there's my Anderson plug for it. Flip that open, plug her in, done deal. Jesse, how do you deploy this thing? How do you get it back out? Well, if you got an Old Town, it's really easy with this one objective mount. You just face it underneath the handle like that. I can't deploy it because it's on the trailer, so I gotta put my elbow on it. It's just underneath the grab handle. And then I put an eyelet screw right there. You just pull it, deploy, undeploy, deploy, undeploy, deploy, undeploy. You get the picture. And if you're really good, you break your handle, so you take a broken screwdriver and just tie it. Works great. Then for pulling it back up, same way everybody else does it. Just pulls up and sits right where my drive would be. And I don't ever run my pedal drive and my motor at the same time. It's either one or the other. I'm either going to use it or I'm not going to use it. Well, what if your motor breaks? I'm going to paddle it like I would if my drive broke. Same deal. It's going to suck, but we'll get through it. I promise. All right, now we're going to move back to the electronics. What kind of electronics am I running on this? Well, you're about to find out. All right, we are running Garmin 106 SV. I run my wires right through a through hole by Yak Attack. I don't run it up there because I don't like it. I want to be able to tuck all this. I don't ride with this hanging off the side. So I like to be able to tuck all my wires into this pocket while I'm going down the road, just to keep everything out of the way. That sits there. It sits on a Yak Attack lock and load mount, so I can take that on and off real easy. All the battery for that, it's going to be right down in there. That's a 20 amp hour Dakota lithium, and then I also run a front GoPro that connects to that right off of the 120 or the 20 amp hour Dakota lithium. Pretty nice, keeps everything tucked away. Just throw that in there when you're done. It's Velcroed. It's not going anywhere. I don't know if I could even rip it out right now, but it's just Velcroed to the hull. A lot of Velcro going on. Sucks you can't drill a hole in it. Put that on. It's hard with one hand. And that's how my 106 is powered. I've got it on a hooked up right now to a GT56 transducer using a Yak Hobby power. Keeps it nice and tucked. No issue there. Yak Hobby transducer mount, so that mounts right to the factory location for my Old Town 120. Power that off because it's going to drive me nuts. All right. In the spirit of keeping on moving back, we're going to start to put the seat in on all that good stuff. Seat, no modifications to the seat whatsoever. It's just in there just like Old Town intended. Slides in just like Old Town intended, maybe. There we go. And I slide it if I'm running the motor guide up front. I slide the seat all the way to the back position to give myself a bunch of open deck space up here. I want this to be more of a casting deck than anything else. I don't want anything in the way. I don't want any wires. I don't want rods, reel, nothing. Nothing. Not a thing. Not a thing. You might ask what that's for. You'll find out in a minute. So the seat all the way to the back position, clipped in just like Old Town would. Under seat storage. Little Rubbermaid bin. You can get this right at Walmart. Nothing fancy. It's got my control for the motor guide, wacky rig, scissors, marker, screwdriver, some leader line, whatever you got, whatever you want. A junk drawer. That fits perfectly underneath the old 120 seat. So you can finally make use of that jumbled mess underneath there. So yep, that hides that away. Moving on to the side. Fish grips. Very important. Want them. Don't want to drop them. I don't get crazy with how I tether them. I just use a carabiner, piece of paracord, wrap it around the lower section of the seat, clip it together, done deal. Take this guy, and I just clip it right there, and that's where it sits. No big deal. It's out of the way, off to the side, not going anywhere. Got it on hand. My net. Net is pretty basic. I don't store that in any fancy place, anything like that. You'll see I have a Yak Attack double header right here with a lock and load mount. That's there for a reason. Net just goes up on the bow, sits in this lock or this double header. Why do I have a lock and load mount there? You'll see in a minute. It'll get controversial. You guys will call me a bad fisherman and say mean things to me. But either way, that's on there. And then now we'll move to the back. We'll move to battery system, crate, and other stuff. Yeah, here we go. The tank well. You could say, like they say in MTV Cribs, this is where all the magic happens. Right here. Take it all in. No, nothing's in there now. But this is where a lot of the most important gear that I bring along with me goes. So before we get started, unclip that, flip it open, don't make it weird. Battery, you need that to run your trolling motor up front. I'm using a Power Queen Mini with a pigtailed connector that I made. So it goes right into what we talked about earlier. You flip this guy open, you undo your plug, you stick it up there, you click it right in there. And that's where my Power Queen sits. It's not strapped in, it's not anything. It's just sitting back there. And I'll lead into why I don't strap it in just 1 second. Oh yeah. Come on, big girl. Yeah. Back here, we got the big girl, 16x16 Blackpack Pro. Ooh, can't call her a big girl. We got the large and in charge Blackpack 16x16 with the half stack on top. There's a reason for that. We'll get there. To strap it in, I just use the factory bungee. Flip it to the back. Flip it to the front. You guys have seen a million videos on how to strap your stupid Blackpack in. There you go. You've seen a million videos. You don't need to see any more of that. So that'll sit in there like so. You will see my battery is being held down by that front handle. Well, it's gonna fall out. It would take a lot of, I'm shaking the whole kayak. This is heavy. It would take a lot of effort to make that fall out. It's not going anywhere. Anderson plug right there into the side. Powered up front. We're good to go. You might notice there's a secret little button right there. And that's the magic button. You hit that button and fish just jump right in. But we'll get into the Blackpack. 6 rod holders in total. 3 on this side, 3 on the other side. Ooh, what is that? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. We'll open that up. Just a ton of soft plastics and junk in there. That's my top of my half stack. Crush City, Guggen, whatever's on sale, I'll buy it. Shut that. Open up the bottom. Maybe. Bottom part. This one gets a little more interesting. So you'll see I have Some 3700 Planos in there, cranks, spinners, top, glide, jerk baits, jigs, terminal tackle, all that good stuff. But then we got this guy built right into the Blackpack. That would be my GLS LiveScope module. The battery to operate it is right down there. Switch to turn it on and off, right there. You might be saying to yourself, Jesse, that's a lot of batteries. I said, you're probably right. It sucks to charge them, no doubt about it. But when you run 3 different batteries, one for your Garmin, one for your motor, and then a separate one for your LiveScope, you get no interference. And another little tip is do not run your trolling motor cables along with your Garmin cables. Run them on separate sides. My trolling motor cables run on that side. My Garmin stuff runs on this side. Keep them separate. Otherwise you will get interference and you'll get irritated and you'll spend way too much money on electronics and wonder why they work like shit. That's part of it. No doubt about it. So all that's in there. How do I get it out to there? I'm glad you asked. I'm so glad you asked. I'll show you. So you see all those wires there, got to get up to there. Well, nice thing is I drilled 2 nice little holes. That one not so nice, first time. That one not too bad. And that's where all the wires that run up front. So if I don't want to run my LiveScope transducer, it just sits back here on a pair of shovel mounts on the Blackpack, which also makes it removable. So I don't go down the road with my LiveScope stuff. I don't make that kind of money. I can't afford to break it over and over again, bouncing down the road, skipping down the road in this little trailer. So that comes off completely and then goes in the truck. And I'll show you how I do that. Right here, you got a little clip, your little rod holder bungee that flips back. These guys, they just pull up and on the strap, pull up and on the strap, and you can pop your transducer. Oh, maybe not very well, but right out. It's hard to do one-handed. It's getting a little radical here. Little radical, radical. There you go. Trying to make this as easy as possible. This is much easier with 2 hands, trying to do this stuff. Sorry, that took a little more effort than I thought. It's hard to do one-handed, real simple to do when you're not one-handed. So everything is tucked away in the Blackpack, separated by a piece of cutting board and some angles, some corner angles there, just screwed in, very solid. It's velcroed to the cutting board. But as far as your transducer goes, your wire comes out there, comes through there, tucks underneath the seat, and goes right to your transducer pole. And steer it, you can do all that good stuff. It's all connected. If you don't want to use it, you don't have to. It's completely removable. So if you're shallow fishing, don't worry about it. It just tucks and shuts most of the time, except when I'm doing a video. Tucks right away in there. You swing over to the other side, cable that goes to my unit, same deal. Comes out right there, goes underneath the seat. Oops, mocked you. Goes underneath the seat, wraps right around there, wires in right there. Yet again, completely free deck space. All right, can't fish tournaments without your measuring board. So we got a catch measuring board. We also have catch rails up front. They're exact tracks, way better than Old Towns. They hold all that giant electronics and everything up just fine. No worries in that department. We've got another Yak Attack double header on the back here. That's because I can't fit this up front anymore. So it just goes in here, clicks right on there. We got a tether. Tethers right to your crate. You're good to go. That's it. I don't get too radical with the tethers. It just clicks right to your crate. done deal. You're not going to lose it. You might still lose it. I might still lose it. But it works. I do have an anchor trolley on here. I did a full install of the lever lock anchor trolley. That's in previous videos. The paddle, I can't pop that on there because it's on the trailer. It's pretty tight quarters there. But it just goes right in the factory location. And in fact, in heavy stuff, it stabilizes this transducer mount, which is nice. Which is nice. Other than that, that's pretty much the overview, the goods, the tournament runner. Everything you need to get the job done. Actually, I take that back, way more than you need to get the job done. I'm just a real bad fisherman. So I need all this good stuff. Makes me better. Makes me much better. And that's kind of the meat and taters, as they say. It was kind of a quick general walkthrough of what I got going on. Let me know if it's worth it. If you think I should upgrade to the 2025 Sportsman Pro or not. I've kind of got it laid out in that fashion already. Would it be a waste of money? Would it not? Would it be worth it? I know the hulls are the same, but the inside's different, but the drive is the same. So a lot of similarities to them and how I have this rigged out versus how I think any other person would rig a Sportsman Pro. You let me know in the comments. Let me know if you like it. Good, bad, whatever. It's awfully hard to hurt my feelings. But yeah, that's it. That's all. If you want me to get into anything more in depth, something I didn't cover well enough that you didn't get a grasp on or something like that, leave it in the comments. I'll make another video. I don't care. It's pretty cold up north here, so I got a few months before fishing season actually starts. So yeah, drop a comment, leave a like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and we'll see you next time.